My top 7 lists that me and Rick use nationwide. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the lists when I do go into a virtual wholesaling market, when I go into a new market nationwide around the entire country. I always go after these 7 lists. Some are paid, most of them are free. But these are lists, no matter what market you're in the United States of America. If you choose Ohio, you choose California, you choose an expensive market, you choose a cheap market. These are going to be the 7 lists nationwide I think you must be using right now. And so if you are using these lists, it's going to work well. And this is a list that it doesn't matter where in the country, there's always going to be motivated sellers on these type of lists. These are bread and butter. Some of these things you probably never heard of before, but it's going to be an amazing one today because I truly believe once you go after people that are truly motivated, that just have a reason why they want to sell, and it works all over the country, it's going to work. And so like what I say, like this isn't a list, so I'm going to tell you, like reverse trying for dollars, you guys hear me talk about it forever. Everybody across the entire United States gets deals from reverse trying for dollars. You know why? You call people that have ugly houses. If there's an ugly house, there's usually a wholesaling deal associated with it, right? That is the point today. That is what we're going to break down, the top 7 nationwide lists to help you become the best wholesaler possible. So before we get into it, do me a big favor. Make sure you guys smash that like button. All right, guys, go out here, hit that like button. Subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss a live. And comment below your questions, and we're excited to go. Remember, guys, Rick will be here in 30, 40 minutes. I started usually 10 minutes late on purpose so he doesn't miss out talking to you guys because, I mean, guys, we have a passion for doing this. Like, I have a passion for helping wholesalers out. I have a passion for doing the free one-on-ones. I love answering questions. And I don't want you guys not to have extra time with Rick. So that is why we started 10 minutes late on purpose so that Rick can actually hop on. Plus, I had to wrap some stuff up. So, guys, he will be on. Don't be concerned. And we're going to talk exactly today about the top 7 nationwide lists. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll help you out. So without further ado, let's get it going, guys. You know, before we do a Flip with Rick live stream, we always cue the intro because the intro gets you jacked up, ready to go to start wholesaling houses and become the best version of you possible. So without further ado, get up. It's wholesaling time, baby. Woo!
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
Oh, yeah. Let's go, guys. Let's get it. Guys, if you ever want to know why I live stream, why I go hard in the paint trying to help you learn wholesaling for free and get your first deal, I want you to understand. I do want to give this before we break it down. I know it's off topic, but I want you guys just to see this so you understand. I helped somebody yesterday. He hopped on the live stream. He did a one-on-one. He thanked me. He showed an amazing check. Victor, I talked to Victor yesterday, and Victor got his first wholesaling deal. $10,000 learning from freewholesaling.com. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Victor here. I posted it this morning. I think a little early, like 6 a.m. or something. But right here, we talked with Victor, and Victor got $10,000 from freewholesaling.com learning for free how to wholesale houses. So I want everybody to understand that Victor did it yesterday. I want to give him a shout out if you didn't watch the live stream yesterday, or just go check it out yesterday. But guys, people around the country, by using these simple lists, are getting 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 wholesaling deals. And so it's like, it's not this special thing. It's not that you have to be this super smart, intelligent, crazy person. It's all about going out here and talking to motivated sellers and having the right lists. That is what it is today. And that is what I want to break down today, the top 7 lists nationwide for wholesaling, right? He did this virtually. So I'm telling you, it works for everyone. So let's get it going. Let's talk about the top 7 nationwide lists you should be doing. Now, one thing I want to tell you, this is not in order. So this isn't like one's the top one. Like, they're all pretty equally important. And depending on what kind of wholesaling operation you do. And if you're this guy who says, oh, I make $100K a month. I don't care how much K you make a month. This is a list anybody should be doing. Anybody. Anyone. So let's break it down. Let's talk about this. So number 1, code violations. All right. Throughout the country, there are code enforcement neighborhood services. That's what they call my city, neighborhood services. But in the county, it's code enforcement. So they got different names for it. Code compliance, whatever it's called. But what they basically do is they make sure that the city and the properties in the city are what they call up to code. And what this basically means is we want to make sure that the properties don't have tall grass, because that actually is part of the code for the city. It's illegal to have tall grass. Kind of crazy, but whatever. Structural damage to the property that's unsafe. There's laws to protect the people. And I get it, right? Like, I get why these laws are here. I get why they have them. But one thing you need to understand here in wholesaling is because they collect that and they collect fines on people that have a code violation, that it's against code, it's not in compliance, they will literally go and find people who have ugly houses. And they have a list. They're like Santa. It's literally like Santa Claus. Santa Claus has a list and he charges people $10 every single day till they fix it up. Crazy. Insane. And so what I want you guys to understand here in wholesaling real estate, that once you actually go out here and start talking to motivated sellers, you'll do well. And the best way to find motivated sellers are code violations right now. Think about this. Code enforcement, they have 3 or 4 people that go in their car. That's right. They go in their car and drive and look for ugly houses and put it on a list. And then you can go get that list if you request it for free. Sounds awful like drawing for dollars, except these are government employees. And guess what happens when an old lady doesn't like their neighbor who has too tall of grass? The old lady, which always happens, they call up code enforcement and says, hey, this person has tall grass, go find them. So you have old ladies looking for ugly houses. You have people in cars driving around. How do you lose? That's the honest question. It's like that. Guys, it's a no-brainer. It's free. Costs no money. I love it, guys. You have to be going after code enforcement list. I absolutely love it. So number 2 here, this is going to be the probates, guys. I'm telling you, the probates. When people pass away, there's a ton of motivation in those deals. There's a ton of motivation why someone like that might want to get rid of the property for cash. And my biggest wholesaling deals, the deals that I make over $100,000 on, you see it on this channel, I show it, they're pretty much all probates, because there's one universal law in wholesaling real estate you must understand. The bigger the problem, the bigger the spread. The more problems, more money. All right. Once you understand that about wholesaling real estate, a lot of things will change for you. Okay. The more problems there is with the seller and the property, the more money you're usually going to make. Now, I've honestly told you, I've done the series. Like I said, I'm wholesaling a crack house. Well, what do you mean by that? There's crack in the house. I call it a crack house because there's crack in a house. All right. And it was a really ugly house. And honestly, I think I made $7,000 on that deal. And when I did the video on that, the vlog. So like, not always the case, but for most houses like this, I'm telling you straight up, more issues going on, the more money you're going to make. So probates, they're a free list. Go to freewholesaling.com. You can learn how to pull them. I love that list. Number 3, all over the country. First of all, there's ugly houses, so code violations. All over the country, there's people dying, so that's probates. And all over the country, there's vacant properties. According to Adam data, just look at the research, 1.3% of all properties in the United States are vacant. Now, if you're looking at Florida, which is like we call them snowbirds, where they live in New York, 5 months out of the year and then come to Florida for 7 months so they pay no taxes. People in Ohio do this. Rich people from the Midwest and North kind of do this a lot, where they will kind of have a house it's vacant for like 5 months out of the year in Florida, usually during like the summer. That's a vacant property, but that's not like a good wholesaling deal, right? But for a lot of properties out here, there's like a probate and no one lives in the house, or a code violation is just abandoned, right? Those are really good wholesaling deals. And if you can go to a service like listrei.com or zachdata.com, whatever you want to use, and filter out those rich people who just own multiple houses out of there, you just, hey, if the owner of this vacant house owns more than 3 houses, I don't want to deal with them more than 2. That's fine, right? You don't want to do more. You don't want to do under 2 because they're obviously got to live in one house and then own the other one. So I'd say 3. Those are like big hedge funds and things like that. But you know how to filter those out and make sure the property is not worth like a bunch of money because it's harder to wholesale those. You're in the money. And in every market I've done virtually, in the Southeast, Northeast, Southwest, and then not too much I'm not the big Northwest wholesaler. I've done JV there, but like I'm not a big guy wholesaling in I'm not Oregon's finest wholesaler. I'll tell you that, okay? I'm not that type of guy. But what I can tell you in wholesaling real estate, vacant properties are everywhere and you can always wholesale them. Guys, there's just house is sitting there. I got to pay taxes on it. There's obviously a ton of motivation to sell that house and get rid of that property. So vacant houses, I absolutely love them. Number 4, guys, tired landlords. Guys, I'll tell you this. Being a landlord is not the most sexy thing in the world compared to what most people hear. Buying a property, renting it out, getting cash every year, that's great. But what I could tell you with the tired landlord list, the tired landlord list is basically a list of people that are landlords and they've owned it for a while and most of them are just going to be sick of it, right? On top of this, if you get like the evictions list, you can get a list of all the people that had to evict a tenant out of a property. They're probably sick of it. They're done, right? So the tired landlord list is a paid list, but the eviction list is a free list. So that all works. That's all Gucci. So I can tell you the eviction list is hands down an amazing list. I always recommend everybody poll. And when somebody says, Zach, I pulled all the lists in my market, there's no more lists I can pull. Do you pull the evictions? Well, I didn't do that one. It's a free list, guys. Sorry, just checking the audio. But yeah, guys, tired landlords, go after them. So go to the evictions or use a paid service for it. But you need to be going after that list and types of lists like that because you can call them, text them. They're hard to reverse drive for dollars, honestly. But outside of that, I love the tired landlords because there's landlords in every single city. And if your tenants are going to have problems, there's going to be tired landlords. And, I've always talked about like, I've had deals where I showed on the vlog where I made 20 grand on a deal where the tenant, the boyfriend cheated on the girlfriend. And so the girlfriend, while the boyfriend was at work to get back at him, she punched, I think, over 100 holes in the house with a hammer to get back at the boyfriend. And the boyfriend's like, well, it's a rental property. Like, wait, what? But don't even get me started on that deal. But the whole drywall was super expensive. The landlord was like, I'm done. And guess what? That was us, right? Guys, I've had tenants put cement in toilets of our own property. So like, I've dealt with it, right? I got property management companies. I know how to deal with it, but I'm telling you right now, tired landlords, there's a ton of them out there. And there's a surprisingly high amount of people that if they just get a cash off or cash out and just get rid of it, they'll do it all day. Number 5 here is the tax delinquencies, guys. In every single state, seriously, in every single state, in every single market, every single county, you have to pay taxes to literally own property. I'm not going to hold political debate on it, but like, yeah, of course, if I own property, I now have to pay taxes for just owning it. Yes, they're called property taxes, and they help pay for schools, police, firemen, all those pretty much essential services. Pay your mayor's stuff, pay for code enforcement. So yes, there are property taxes. Now, unfortunately, that's the case for everyone. They got to all pay property taxes. And so the thing is, if you go to a city like, I don't know, let's choose Orlando, Florida. All right. I think there's over half a million people in Orlando, like 500,000 properties in Orlando, probably, or let's do all of Central Florida, whatever you want to call it. Do you think, because that means there's usually 500,000 homeowners, do you think since they have to pay taxes every single year, out of 500,000, there's going to be at least, I don't know, 10 that can't pay the $3,000 or $4,000 that year? Probably not. They probably can't afford it or something bad happened. And they're going to be delinquent on the taxes, which means they didn't pay the taxes that they owed. What do you think this means? This means that the government's going to be like, oh, I know you own this house, but you haven't paid taxes for this year. Well, you got about a year to get that up. And if you don't pay it, we're going to start taking over the house and we're just going to auction it off because we're the government. And the government's going to do that. Now, is that a good or bad thing? We need essential services. We do need parts of the government. So I do 100% agree, right? But like fire departments, the EMS, right? Like the very essential, right? We need those people. And so the government's very aggressive to make sure they get their money so we can have those services. Great. But they're pretty aggressive after year 2 or 3, you don't pay your taxes. Like they'll go try to auction off the property. Heck, if you don't pay your mortgage, the bank will try to do that, right? They're pretty aggressive. And so that being said, there's a lot of people that gets really scary when they can't pay their taxes because they'll try to auction off and get the property off, right? So they'll do a tax lien and then they'll try to just, they'll do a tax lien. Sometimes do tax certificates like in Wyoming and stuff, but usually they'll potentially try to do a tax auction, just auction off the property, get their money, get you some money, and then they're done. So tax delinquencies, very interesting deal. They got a lot of great deals. A lot of wholesaling deals I do. Every single time I tell someone that they should pull a list, they always say, yeah, I know I should do it, but I don't want to do it, right? Guys, I want you guys to understand when I say these lists, I don't say it for the good of my health. I do it for the good of your wallet. Guys should be doing it. I'm telling you. All right, number 6 here. High equity. Guys, across the entire country, people have high equity. And now, high equity, I added this list on purpose because this is a list when you're doing big volume. So if I'm doing a big volume, a lot of text blasting, a lot of cold calling, a lot of direct mail, the best one for a wide net approach, right? And so if you ever look at, any from Louisiana probably knows this better than anyone, but shrimp boats. If you ever watch Forrest Gump, I think you know what a shrimp boat is. But it's a boat with a huge net, and they kind of see where the shrimp are, and they just catch everything. It'll be shrimp, sharks, everything, and they'll get rid of the big fish, But the crazy part about it is they do such a wide net; they'll catch everything, and within that, there's going to be mostly shrimp, and that's all they care about, right? They get rid of the other animals, but like, I'm not. Should it be good or bad? But what I could tell you here is for high equity, every single list that is motivated, that's going to be a good wholesaling deal, is going to be in the high equity list. High equity is just an equation of property that the value of the house minus what is owed on it. And so if there is not a lot of debt versus how much the value of the property, it's going to be high equity. So let me give you a quick equation. If a property is worth $100,000 and there is $40,000 owed on a mortgage, or $37,000 on a mortgage and $3,000 on a tax lien, what I could tell you is that is 60% equity, because if they sold the house theoretically today for the value, he would get $60,000, $40,000 get paid to the debt. That's high equity. Anything over, I think 40% is considered high equity. I consider it over 50% to be high equity. But guys, every single deal that is good going to have high equity, because if a seller, let's say he wants to sell his house for, it's worth 100, he sells it for 70, he can sell it for 70 because he owes 40. He can't sell it for 30 because he owes 40, right? And so you want them not to have much debt, so you have more wiggle room to go down in price. That's the point of high equity. I talk about it all the time. Go to freeholding.com if you want to learn how to do high equity the right way, but it's a good one. Number 7, these are what we call the stacked lists. I love stacked lists, guys and gals. I'll tell you this. I've said it time and time again, but go after stacked lists. Stacked lists are basically just going to be lists that repeat more than once on a specific given government list or paid list. That is it. I taught you guys on Tuesday how to use Chat GPT, how to do it. So if you go to freeholding.com, Chat GPT, we have the whole entire module on there on how to find duplicates with Chat GPT. All right. Chat GPT, I show you actually how to find duplicates with it. So pretty amazing, pretty cool. And all you really got to do is ask ChatGPT to find duplicates in a data set. And so you just get a data set of all. So let's say let's theoretically go after all the stacked lists. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the code violations, the probates, vacants, tired landlords, tax delinquencies, and high equity. I'm going to put them all in their separate Excels, but then I'm going to do one massive one, copy all of them and put them onto one massive master sheet. It's the master list. All of them are on there. I'm going to put that in ChatGPT and ask, hey, find me all the addresses that are duplicate. And it'll spit it out in like 4 seconds. And it'll say, well, 434 Main Street is shown up 3 times. Wow. That means it's either a vacant. It might also be a high equity vacant. And then it's also a tax delinquency. So it's high equity. They're behind on the taxes and the property is vacant. That's what we call a stacked list because the list is stacked on top of each other. You find the duplicates. Guys, those are probably one of the most powerful lists. And that's why when we talk about the bull method, it is so essential to go after. Stacked lists, super underrated. I absolutely love the stacked lists. So guys, that is my top 7 nationwide lists I always use in wholesaling real estate. I'm telling you, nationwide, whatever market I'm in, and I could only use 7 lists, those are probably going to be ones I can do, right? Reverse trying for dollars would be good, but like some markets, reverse trying for dollars aren't the best, right? Like some markets work better than others. I'll tell you, the best market for reverse trying for dollars right now is probably going to be Texas and Florida. Just trying for dollars works best in those places. Everywhere else, they work really well too, but I've just statistically seen people do really well there. So honestly, that's what I could tell you. So guys, remember, everything I do talk about today is at freewholesaling.com. So if you do want to learn wholesaling real estate absolutely for free, make sure you go to freewholesaling.com. Guys, you see the diamonds behind me. All the diamonds are on freewholesaling.com. Step by step, everything you need to make $100,000 per year is already all there. It's all there. And so I'm telling you, it's there. So I'm telling you guys, go to freewholesaling.com. That's where you need to be. Go check it out. It's free. But yeah, guys. So yeah, Rick will be on here soon. But what I want to do is answer some questions, see how I can help you guys out, and honestly, make you a better wholesaler. One thing I'll tell you is, remember, guys, we are currently in March. So April, May. So in 3 months, we are starting the 30-day wholesaling challenge. So I'll get you guys a little hyped up for it, right? I know a lot of you guys are going to get your first deal by then. So no big thing on there. But guys, just if you're new to the channel or you weren't on this last year, every single year in June, we started it last year. So we're doing it second. I'll probably do it for the rest of my life. We call it the 30-day wholesaling challenge. We're basically on the YouTube channel for every day for 30 days. I do a video on wholesaling, and it's consecutively kind of like a class. So everything you need to know to get your first wholesaling deal, I teach you day 1, the basic, what is wholesaling? Day 2, should you go virtual or local? Day 3, what is marketing? Day 4, another thing. And then eventually on day 30, you know every aspect of wholesaling real estate. That's the 30-day wholesaling challenge. And the point here is we do good prizes and all this stuff. And the point is, if you've gotten your first wholesaling deal within that 30-day wholesaling challenge, and that challenge pushed you to get your first deal, you will be a winner. And if you're a winner, you get all these prizes. We gave free prop stream. We give all this free, crazy, amazing stuff out. So yeah, it is going to be no exception. So it's going to be huge. 30-day wholesaling challenge, June 1 through June 30th. I'm excited for it. Let me know, guys, in the comments if you're excited for it too. And yeah, I'm always jacked up to help the people out for it. But yeah, let's see how I can help people out. Lamont says, guys, save the video. It's all on YouTube, so don't worry about that too. And yeah, it's always going to be available. So yeah. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're getting some comments. Some people are debating about the girlfriend put the holes in the wall. Yeah, not the best thing out here. Let's see here. Great information. I appreciate it. Let's see here. So Matt says, my LLC is based out of Wyoming for better tax breaks. I live in Florida. I have to register my LLC as a foreign entity. Not a problem. The lady I spoke with told me I had to get a business tax ID. Depends on what you do. Let me know what lady you talk to, because the government just wants their money. Like, they just want their stinking money. All right. Like, they don't care about anything else. So just be careful with that one too. But I don't know why, if you live in Florida, you just have a Florida one. It's the same cost and you got no income tax personally. So there's no tax breaks in Wyoming that you're going to get in Florida. People do Wyoming LLCs just for asset protection. Yeah, I don't know about the Florida one though. What is the minimum walkthrough of a property? It is absolutely trashed. I always walk through the houses. It's not a minimum walkthrough. It's a minimum pictures. I need pictures and videos of the property. So walking through the house, it depends on what you got. So we've had these hazmat like masks. They got like the dual filters. It literally looks like a hazmat suit for the face. And for hoarders' houses, because there's just so much black mold in the property, and I value my lungs, I always wear those things. If I used to have them like crazy. There's like 4 filters in it, and this is before 2020. But I've always had them because you don't be breathing in black mold. So I make sure you wear like a mask to protect you from just the mold. But yeah. What's up, guys? What's up? All right, let's see what questions we got here. So we got to ask here, where can I find title companies? Honestly, what I've always seen is the best place to find a good title company is just ask other wholesalers in your area where the best title companies are. That's it. Find, because most wholesalers aren't scared to tell you the good title company. Because it like, I mean, some wholesalers can be like, oh, I don't want you to win, or, you know, I want you to fail and all that stuff. But like, I get that all the time. Like, oh yeah, I'm not going to tell you my title company. If you ask 15 wholesalers in a city, you're going to get the same answer. This is the best title company. Or you just cold call every stinking single title company and see which ones do wholesaling transactions and then go from there, right? So Matt says, I was in the Citrus County tax collector's office. They said I need one for every county I do business in. No. Okay, talk to a lawyer, not someone that wants money. You do not need a tax ID for every county you do. I could be wrong about Citrus County, but do Sunbiz, not Citrus County. Completely different. You need a license for every county you do. I'd go broke. Top Videos has a good one. You know, how do you get over the fear of cold calling? Now, honestly, I know a lot of wholesalers have a fear of cold calling or a fear to go out here and cold call, and I completely get it. I've always said, how do you get over the fear of anything is just by doing it. And so, unfortunately, the only way you're going to get rid of a fear of, let's say, going off a diving board is just by going off the diving board. There's no book you can read to have you eliminate your fear of heights. There's not. Now, one thing I can tell you is there's no book that's going to help you eliminate your fear of flying in a plane. I'll tell you this, though. I know people are deathly afraid of flying a plane. I'm not. I don't care. But what I can tell you is, let's say you're very fearful of flying in a plane, and I force you, I strap you down, and like you're tied up, and you have to sit in an airplane, and they're going to keep you in an airplane for 24 hours. You get food and everything, right? Or I force you to be in an airplane and it never goes off the ground. It's always in the air for the next 5 years, and then get off the airplane. Do you think 4 years in on being in the airplane, you're going to be fearful? Probably not, right? You might fearful might crash, but like your fear of flying is going to go away. If you've done 1,000 flights, you're not going to be fearful of flying as much. You might still have that fear, but it won't be as bad because you're going to realize it's not that bad, right? Like I could statistically show it, right? But like I'm telling you. So for example, I'm not a big fan of skydiving. I've never skydived. I think it's an unnecessary risk. I've seen a lot of people, and maybe it's just me seeing like Instagram reels and TikToks of people that are like paralyzed from the neck down because they skydived. And that kind of freaks me out like crazy. But I know statistically, maybe, I don't know the stats, but like you don't really pass away from skydiving. It's not like this crazy thing that happens, but there is still possible. And that kind of freaks me out a little. Now, for me, I know the amount of people in Florida that get bitten by sharks. So I think it's less than 100 a year that lose a limb or something from sharks. And every week I'm pretty much at the beach, fishing, in the water, surfing, doing that. And I know the statistics is probably worse than skydiving, but honestly, I'm at the beach all the time. I've chosen that risk, right? So, I go fishing all the time. I'm not fearful that the engine's going to break down. I'm stranded because I got all my GPS and stuff. So it's like, I like diving. So I'm not fearful sharks can go attack. I know it happens, but like, it's just so funny. So yeah, people have fear of flying, fear of the beach for sharks. Honestly, the only thing that I think I'm not fearful of, but I always get a little spooked over are boa constrictors. If I see a boa constrictor, I get a little tense. All right. I had one deal, made $70,000 on this deal. The seller was a probate deal and he was living in his mom's house. He had a pet boa constrictor. Just like it was in its tank, but the boa constrictor could get out if it wanted to. And he took it out. He was holding it. And I was like I was getting a little weird. Like, if that boa constrictor really was hungry and really wanted me not there, there's a 50-50 chance I think the boa constrictor could have won. And so that gets me a little, on edge, boa constrictors. I'll tell you that. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it, because they're boa constrictors in the Everglades, and that's a little weird. But yeah, so I'll tell you that, that grizzly bears that are angry, not much, I'll tell you this, I'm not scared of alligators. No fear at all. But yeah. But guys, how do you get over that fear of cold calling? It's like, I'm at the beach so many times and I've caught so many sharks that like, I'm not fearful of sharks. Like I'm really not. I've swum with sharks, hammerheads, all that. Like my fear is not there because I've done it so many times. Now, if I grew up in like Utah and then like I go to Florida, I'll probably have some fear of it, but it's just not there for me because I've done it so many times and I assume the risk. The thing about cold calling is I'm not going to get jacked by a shark surfing. Okay. There's nobody that loses an arm from cold calling. Okay. So it's like the fear of cold calling. You got to understand why you're fearful of it. Why? Understand that. Why are you scared to cold call? Are you scared that you're going to be embarrassed and someone's going to make fun of you? I promise you, call that person, they make fun of you. You're never going to call them ever. You're going to just go block them, right? It's not fearful of that, right? Because like, for example, I get 99% amazing positive questions and comments and support from the community here that we have. And I get 1% hate comments, right? Always something about me. I don't know. There's always a problem with me, right? I don't know. But like the hate comments, I could care less. Because here's the thing. You say something mean to me on a comment, block. I just don't want to hear it, right? Oh, Zach, he's a broke wholesaler and his info's terrible. Just block, right? Like I don't have a fear of it. I know it's going to come. Like, guys, I don't do content and then expect no one to say anything mean. There's always going to be someone that's going to say something mean. All right. That's it. If you've ever worked a 9-to-5 job, there's about 5% people there that absolutely suck. Like they're terrible people and, they might have crazy egos. They just don't like you being there. Crazy bosses, 5%. So I always assume there's about 1% of people that watch my stuff that are going to do hate comments, stuff like that. But like, I don't have to deal with them ever again. Same with cold calling. If someone says something mean to you over cold call, you just block them. That's it. And so is it the fear that you're someone, like you're not going to get a deal? Well, by not cold calling, you're not going to get the deal. That's pretty much it. So getting over the fear of cold calling, you just got to do it. I was nervous to cold call when I started, but I didn't have a fear of it because I've done wholesaling deals before. But guys, the fear of rejection, right? So Kaylin just said that, the fear of rejection, right? I don't think it's a fear of rejection for most people why they're scared of cold calling. I really got to get a psychologist in the house for this. But your biggest fear, honestly, I want you guys to understand, your biggest fear should be a fear of being broke. The fear of being broke should be way greater than the fear of cold calling. The fear that I'm going to stay at the point where I'm at right now financially for the rest of my life, that scares the snot out of me. All right. Thinking that I'm going to be at the same financial point where I'm at right now for the rest of my life. My financial point right now, I'm good. But I'm talking about like when I was starting out broke, like staying broke the rest of my life. That scares me more than anything. It scares me more than working a job. It scares me more than anything. Staying at a job scares the snot out of me too. But whenever I have to get motivated, I just think, hey, if I don't do this, I might have to become a bag boy, which I don't have to anymore. I get too much passive income. I'm good. But like knowing that from when I was cold calling, it's like, hey, if I don't do this, I'm going to have to put on a bag boy uniform again and start scrubbing toilets. That lit a fire in me. The fear of doing that was so higher than the fear of cold calling. And so you have to understand, what's your bigger fear? Is it a fear of being broke or a fear of cold calling? If you're more scared of cold call than being broke, you will stay broke. You'll go to the lowest common denominator of your fear. So whatever your greatest fear is, you'll do anything to avoid that. So if, for example, if a shark is coming after me, I'll have a greater fear of that shark than drowning, okay? Because that shark is a more permanent issue. If my house is on fire, I'm going to have a bigger fear of, being burned than a fear of, a heart attack at that moment, right? It's whatever's the greater, I don't know how you say it. It's whatever's the greatest fear, that's going to be the thing you're going to be focused on the most. And so you got to understand that, the fear of being broke. And so that's it. So looks like Rick's back. So back on. So we got to, we'll change it up. So perfect timing. The fear of being broke. Let's get it. So let's go change this up. I think your mic's down there. Grab it on. Say hi.
What's up, guys?
Hold on. Let me get you on here. Hold on. Let's move you over. There you go.
What's up? What are we talking about?
Fear of being broke.
I've been there, done that.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Fear of being broke. How do you get over the fear of cold calling right now? Talk about it.
So we're talking about the fear of getting cold calling. So obviously you've reached out to wholesaling because it resonates with you. And so when I first got started in wholesaling, I wanted to change so massively. And honestly, you got to get to the point where if you truly want the change and you're going to be brutally honest with yourself and you say you will do anything it takes, if you're going to tell yourself the truth, then you'll do it. If you just kind of want it, or you just want the benefits without the pain of it, you won't do it. So you have to get to the point where your conviction is so strong, you're okay overcoming it. And most of you are scared to death because, number one, you're not used to it. And number two, you don't like rejection. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you can't get uncomfortable and you can't accept rejection, you are going to live a mediocre life. End of story. Most of you are held hostage by what you think others think of you. And that's probably the biggest thing why you're scared of cold calling, because you're going to get chewed out, you're going to be cussed out, and you think you're going to be judged. You are. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you're going to get the life you deserve. But the reality is, most people want to do it, but most people don't have the guts to do it. And that's where you have to have the conviction to go, I'm willing to do it. Nobody just says, hey, I just enjoy cold calling because it's, nobody does, would you say nobody does cold calling for a hobby, right? Like, hey, what do you enjoy to do when you're not working or something? I goes, I just like to call random people to see if they'll sell me something dirt cheap. So there's a means to the end. So you have to stop worrying what others care about you. Stop worrying about it. They don't care. Like, honestly, if I cared what everybody thought about what I'm saying or Zach, I wouldn't be on this camera with you because I'd be scared. Like, some of you say mean things to me, whatever. But a majority are very happy with the message. So if you're going to do cold calling, you've got to have the conviction to do it, because the reason you're doing it is you're trying to change your life. It's going to get wildly uncomfortable. You're going to be judged and you're going to get rejected. If you understand that going into it, it's a much easier fight. But the reality is most of you are spun like, hey, just jump into wholesaling. You're just going to sit on a beach. The houses flip themselves. It's a bunch of BS fed to you. You got to go in and you got to fight the fight. If you truly want change in your life, you have to put yourself out there and you have to be able to deal with rejection. Because if I talk to 100 people and 97, 98 of them reject me and I find one or two will work with me, those are the ones that's going to make the tremendous difference in your life. If you understand that, it's not that big of a deal. But if you operate under your old operating system where, like, I want everyone to like me, I want to fit in, I want to look rich, stop trying to look rich. It sucks. Become rich. The only way you become rich, honestly, cold calling is probably one of the fastest ways to dig yourself out of it. And it's not just wholesaling. If you were running an insurance business, if you were selling cars, any of that, they all cold call. They all have one thing in common. I love cold. I never did cold calling because I didn't understand it. It wasn't really introduced to me properly. And I still overcame it, become wildly successful in wholesaling. So Get rid of your excuses, guys, because an excuse is just a reason you have in your head of why you can't do something.
Remember this too. Nobody cares about you until you really make $1 million. I'm not saying that in a mean way. What I mean by this, that is actually the best thing you can hear about. What I mean by this is nobody cares. Legit. Nobody cared what I did, had to say, or do anything until I became a millionaire. And what I mean by that is if nobody cares, if you mess up, nobody cares about you. Nobody cares what you do. You're not on anyone's radar. No one's going to judge you because they don't care enough. Okay. No wholesaler who's making, let's say 50, 60, 80K, let's say 80K a year is going to look at another wholesaler, see them fail and make fun of them. No one's friend's going to go make fun of them because they didn't do well today in wholesale. They don't even know what your friends probably don't even know what wholesaling is. So your friends ain't going to judge you. Your family, obviously there are a lot of societal pressures in the United States sometimes from family to go do something, be a lawyer, doctor, whatever. But there should be, no one should really care if you're going out here and trying to better your life. That's it.
It's guys, I'm just telling you. So many people think you make $1 million in like, they think it's like overnight. And I'm here to tell you, it's just a slow, steady grind. It's the only way you become a millionaire overnight, and it will be overnight, and you probably only have it for days if you win like a lottery ticket. That's it. Or you get like this crazy inheritance. So if you want to go out there and earn it, none of us had it. I didn't have a silver spoon in the mouth. He definitely didn't have it. Most of you watching this don't have it. So everybody goes, oh, I want that. You make millions of dollars. How do you do it? The reality is most people don't want to do the work for it. And that's just the truth. And the more you are accountable and honest to yourself, the easier it is to get there. I started from scratch. I had a 9-to-5 job. I was bitterly broke. I had no direction. I was buried in debt. And I just said, I can't take it anymore. But guys, here's the problem is I let that build for 12 years after I got out of this thing called college, which didn't help me out at all. And so some of you are like sitting right now trying to make that decision. I'm here to tell you, I don't understand jobs. I'm just saying it. They're necessary. I was an employee for a long period of my life, but like it's just, there's nothing safe about a job. You're stuck. There are some people happy with their job and you are, that's fine. And nothing says you can't use your current job to help you get to where you want to go. But the problem is all school systems, all your family, all your parents, all your friends, everybody programs you for a job. The reality is college, high school, grade school, everything is designed to get you the best, highest paying job. If you don't want a job, you need to understand that, and you got to unwind the programming in your mind.
Let me ask you one thing. If somebody handed you a lottery ticket, all right, it's a lottery ticket, and it's free, and it's let's call it a 1 out of 10 chance, make $1 million, and it's free, and you can someone can hand it to you. If you got that lottery ticket, do you think your family would judge you for just looking at the Powerball number that day? 1 out of 10 chance. Would your family judge you? No, for taking that ticket? No, that's a no-brainer. Take it. Yeah. Would your friends judge you? Would your friends make fun of you for getting a free ticket? No. Would there have been any pressures for you to win? It's 1 out of 10. There's no pressure. You know what? It's right. Here's the thing in wholesaling. Wholesaling is a lottery ticket. You know what the odds of being successful in wholesaling? 1 out of you.
Yeah.
1 out of you. 1 out of you is the chance you'll be successful. That's your lottery ticket. You know what the odds are? The odds are yourself. You're the odds. And so here's the thing. If you feel pressure from your family or your friends to be successful in wholesale, it's a lottery ticket. Guess what happens when you don't win a lottery ticket and it's a free ticket? Do you lose everything? Do you lose your job, your family? No. You lose out. Like, you don't lose anything, but you're set to win everything if it wins. So that's the thing about wholesaling. If you try wholesaling out and like you still have your job, but you do it on the side, if you actually put the work in and you actually get that first deal, second deal, you win the lottery. You did great. And the amount of, and how the wholesaling lottery works, it is a lottery ticket. And you know how lottery tickets work? Usually the more tickets you buy, the better chance you have of winning, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't a million. Like, so every hour you put in this business this year is going to be a lottery ticket for you to make 100K. It's a 1 out of 10,000 chance. But what if I put 1,000 hours in? What if it's a 1 out of 1,000 chance and I put 7? What about 800 lottery tickets and I have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of winning about 800 of them. Pretty dang high likely chance I'm going to win that lottery. And every hour you put in this business and every motivated seller you talk to just increases that lottery that you're going to win. And here's the cool part. When you're cold calling, you have a fear of cold calling. Every hour you put in a cold calling is another lottery ticket. That's it.
And the reality is, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, is a lot of people who call like, oh, real estate, wholesaling is a scam. They're trying to fit it in the old rules of society. So wholesaling is the complete opposite of a job. It's 100% accountability, putting yourself out there and taking risk on yourself. You're only gambling on yourself. And anyone who tells you wholesaling is a scam, it's one or two reasons. Number one, you're making them feel uncomfortable because they know what they're doing is not going to get them anywhere. Or number two, it just doesn't fit in the rules of a job. And because you don't get a set paid schedule check every other week, it's a scam. I was told it was a scam right up front. I'm just like, guys, I've been doing this 21 years. It's the farthest thing from a scam. It's only a scam if that's what you feel it is. Because if you want to go get your paycheck and you want safety, wholesaling is not for you. But if you want to do it, it's absolutely amazing. I just laugh when people go, oh, it's a scam. I'm like, scam. Why? Because I'm not getting an employment check every 2 weeks. And so fine, if you want to limit yourself to making 75 to 100 grand a year and having all your taxes taken out and just you try to save in America today, good luck. It's harder today than I've ever seen it. I will tell you, even when I was young, there was a shot at savings. Now, the cost of everything, there's no way you're going to save yourself becoming rich.
You know what, though? You know what? Whenever someone tells me wholesaling is a scam, I always think of only one thing. I've never said this before. You're scamming the matrix.
You are.
That the only person you're wholesaling is a scam because it scams the regular system of what average person does.
Yeah.
Work 60 hours, 9 to 5, 2 kids and a job, wake up every day, commute for 2 hours, come back, commute 2 hours, go to eat dinner with the family, bed, wake up next day, and you get a lift for 2 days a week, weekend. You're scamming that system by doing that. So the truth is, because I did that scam, I scammed the matrix of wholesaling. Guess what happened? I can go to Mexico, virtually wholesale, catch the marlin, come back, do a live stream or two. Like, I'm scamming that. I should right now, look at the time, I should be at a 9 to 5 job right now. Or maybe on a lunch break for 30 minutes and then go back to my hourly job. You should be doing that right now. I should be doing that right now. But we decided to scam the system and legitimately make money in one of the most legitimate ways possible with title companies and lawyers legally doing great things for the economy.
Yeah. So, and think about this scam. I gave up 12 years of my life for a company and they replaced me like that overnight. And so I just want you to understand is, to me, the ultimate scam is just sitting there and just working, having everything taxed, have no deductions. And really, most of us, I was fighting for a 3 to 5% raise at best. And I used to get excited about it. It's just crazy. When I did wholesaling my first 5 years, I doubled the amount of money I made every year till I got well over $1 million. And I just don't know any other industry can do it. Honestly, I had to pinch myself multiple times. Now, I had a lot of road bumps, just like you guys are going to have it. But I'd rather you make a couple $100,000 and then get a giant tax bill and go, okay, I got to figure this out. Or you can make, I don't know, 75, 80 grand a year and you're married. And if you guys ever had that jackass of a boss, you know exactly what I'm talking. I had the worst. You take The Office, you take Michael Scott and make him like a complete idiot, which he was, but nasty. I had bosses like that for 9 years. And I just like, the bosses pushed me in the wholesaling. But honestly, I just wanted freedom. I couldn't deal with it anymore. And honestly, what's more risky? Not trying wholesaling, doing wholesaling, committing and taking the action and being accountable yourself, or working 30 years for one company to go, hey, this is all there is. So what? Then you get what, 10, 12, 15 years of retirement if you're lucky? Guys, you only get one life, man. You got to make the best of it. And to me, working for a company, I did it. I just didn't understand. I was stuck in that matrix and I hit to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. I remember telling my wife at the time, I'm like, what do we got to lose? She goes, we're going to lose the house. We got the kids. I go, listen, it can't be any worse than what I'm doing now. And I just went all in. And that was the time I said, if I were to introduce the cold calling back then, if someone explained it to me now, I would have been 100% in. But I filtered things like, well, I'm too professional for cold calling. And I used that excuse for a long time. It's BS.
You used that the entire time.
I did.
You never cold called.
I didn't, but I found other ways to do it. What I'm saying is if I
yeah.
did cold calling, my profits would have gone through the roof and I would have got there even faster. But honestly, I was scared of it and I didn't understand it.
Should I make a series teaching you how to cold call? Get your first deal cold call.
We should do some live cold calls together. That'd be fun. I'd probably be laughing so hard. But you know, it doesn't bother me now. I still
it translates really well because you've talked to so many sellers.
I do.
It's
talking to them in person on the phone doesn't make. I prefer in person for obvious reasons, but honestly, if someone would have grabbed me like I'm grabbing you guys right now and said, "Listen, dude, you're broke. You don't have a lot of money to get going in this business. What's the fastest way to get a deal?" That would have been my absolutely number one. I said, "Listen, Rick, you got a cold call." And then I said, "Dude, I'm too scared. Like, I'm going to get rejected and judged." He goes, "Welcome to wholesaling. Get over it. Rip through 1,000 phone calls and let's get a deal." And that's it. If someone grabbed me and did it, I would have done it. I would have dove in. But someone's got to get in your head. Most of the time, you resist certain marketing methods because you're filtering it through your old operating system, which is a 9-to-5 employee. It doesn't work that way. And if you're open to change and you understand you want to be accountable to stuff and you truly want to change your life, not talking. Most people in the world, they talk about changing. Me and Zach's commitment is like people who want to make the change. So with our course and everything, we do 100% free. The reality is the people that take the most amount of action, that become extremely consistent and very disciplined, they all do very well. The people who dabble in it, you're doomed. But if you do that, like listen, if you want to ride a unicycle, how many hours do you think you're gonna have to put into it? You're gonna have to put in double because of your balance issues. But the reality is you're gonna have to put in 1,000 hours till you figure you're probably gonna break kneecaps. That was a low blow.
That was a low blow.
I know, but I'm just saying, like when you first started wrestling, were you good at it?
No, it was
terrible. You were terrible. Like I was terrible too. Everything you start, you suck at in the beginning. The question is, are you going to get back up and you're going to keep going? That's what we call persistence. And if you don't have it, don't even try wholesaling. Exactly. But most people on this go, "Hey, listen, I got it. That's why I'm connecting with you guys. I want to talk about it." The problem you have is nobody tells you the truth in this business. It's just, all you get is the good stuff. Have you ever had someone try to sell you something and all you hear about the good? They will never tell you about the hard work, what you have to sacrifice. Are you willing to do it? Will you call 5,000 people and get rejected by every one of them? That's wholesaling.
Yeah, I got some of the inner ears where if I go on a roller coaster, I get sick. And if I'm on a boat, I usually get seasick. I love fishing so much. I'm always seasick, but I don't care.
I got good stories for that anytime
we
you
don't
want
get over that. But yeah. One other thing I do want to tell, when people say they have a fear of cold calling, I'm talking the majority of our audience right now. A majority of our audience. Okay. If you were a married male, okay, we got a large portion of married men. I always ask when a married man comes up and says, "Zach, I'm scared to cold call." I'm like, "I see a ring on your finger." Yeah. I'm married with my wife 15 years or whatever. I'm like, "Were you scared to ask her out?" "Of course I was scared." "Were you scared on the first date?" "Of course I was scared on the first date. She was so beautiful." I'm like, so you knew the options were you either ask her out or you stay single the rest of your life. You chose that staying single the rest of your life was way worse than being married to the love of your life, right? Yeah. Of course. Staying broke the rest of your life or being rich. Guys, people subconsciously know they need a cold call. They're trying to find an excuse not to do it. So like, if you see the most beautiful woman in the world and she sounds amazing and you want to ask her out, most people they don't psych themselves. "Oh, she probably doesn't like me." Or some people do that, but they overcome the fear because they want to go after it, right? And they actually want to, but when it comes to cold calling, people are like, "Oh, it's just not right for me," or "It's just, I'm not good enough." Or
so let me tell you this. We all have this internal mechanism. I've been around long enough to understand this. You haven't. But he can relate is we all have this mechanical ability in our brain to self-sabotage us. Let me give you an example. When I first got in wholesaling, I got really successful quick. Every day I just thought in the back of my head, I go, "You don't deserve this. You're not doing it right. Like, you only made, 80, 90 grand a year as as a corporate employee. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars with a quarter, with not nearly the effort you did on that. And you start to like find ways to screw it up. And it's crazy. Like the minute you start to get successful, and you guys will go through this as a wholesaler, you're going to start questioning yourself. The biggest fear I had in wholesaling is after I did each deal, I go, I'm going to run out of deals and I'm going to be broke. Guys, I'm on year 21. They never run out if you do this business correctly. And so you have to learn. Nobody taught me in the beginning on how to avoid self-sabotage, because you're so wildly uncomfortable with what we're conditioned to. Your brain will find a way to screw it up to bring it back. So it's kind of like when you're a thermometer in a room. If the thermometer is set on like 75 and that temperature arrives above it, you immediately go, you don't deserve it. You shouldn't be. And I struggled making $1 million. I'm like, man, I don't feel like a millionaire. I don't look like a millionaire. Guys, there's no look, there's no feel. It's just hard work every day. Avoid your own self-sabotage. You deserve 100% of it. And when you get it, find a way to keep pushing forward and doing it. We're not talking about doing a deal or two. We're talking about doing thousands of deals when you do wholesaling. And you got to think long-term. I always tell you, run a marathon. The sprint are for the gurus. They're sprinting to your wallet is what they're doing. They're never going to tell you the truth because you're not going to buy into a course like that. So it's up to you. You deserve it. The question is, when it comes, are you going to like knock your own success out? Because a lot of times you guys will self-sabotage yourself. I did it in the beginning because I'm like, I don't deserve this. I'm not this. There's so many things, like when you see that guy or gal and you're like, oh, they're so much better than me. They do studies, like really good looking people. A lot of people don't ask them out because everyone's so intimidated of them. And it just takes, that's why sometimes you get the ugliest dude just walk up to the hottest chick and she's like, okay. And you're like, oh my God. You know why? Because he or she had the guts to take a risk. I used to be terrified when a girl would reject me. It's ridiculous. Who cares? Like, move on. If they don't want you, here's how I look at it. It's their loss. And I do the same thing with wholesaling. If you guys want to take the invitation to go on a ride for your life, cash your ticket in. But like, if you don't want it, move on. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And that's how I treat wholesaling now.
Guys, it's not that you don't deserve the money or whatever. You guys are literally like a can of Coke or a bottle of water. I always say that, right? How much is a can of Coke worth at 7-Eleven? A buck, right?
More than that now.
How much? $2. Okay. How much is a can of Coke at a football game?
It's bad.
$7 or $8, right?
It's $10 now.
And so like, it's not that you're worth less or you don't deserve it. It's just, you're just not at the right place you need to be, right? Guys, is a can of Coke worth $8? To the right person, it is.
At the right time.
At the right time. So you got to understand this, that like, yeah, you might be worth $20 an hour, $15 an hour at your job, right? But maybe you wholesale, you'd be worth $1,000 an hour. And that's what you got to understand. Like if I was a bag boy still, I'd be worth $15 an hour. But I switched up where I was and what I did, switched the type of boat I was in, boom, easier. And so guys, for all my people out here that like, I talked about, if you're older and you're married, have no fear of cold calling. Guys, you have to go and do the action now. When I talk about the wholesaling matrix, the wholesaling, the job matrix, they can sink their teeth in you and they can give you reasons why you shouldn't get into this business. A mortgage, kids, food, feed, insurance, all this stuff. They're all tactics, not kids maybe, but like all these tactics, you got to learn why half of them are developed to get banks rich and number one, to keep you stuck at a job. Health insurance is probably one of the biggest scams I've ever seen.
Listen, health insurance and 401k, they do studies on this stuff.
And that's because I have to drop a lot of money on health insurance for myself as a healthy 23-year-old, but I still have health insurance. It's fine.
It's insane, guys. The amount of people, here's the number one thing I hear from people like, but I get benefits. Add your benefits up. And if you're willing to give your life up for like 10 to 20 grand, go for it. I'm talking about making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And like, I had to get past it. I got this great, dude. I even had my gas and my car's car insurance covered. So I got all these benefits, but one day I did somebody sat me down to go add up your benefits. And is that worth being a slave to your company? I'm just like, oh my God. So then I go, well, how do I go out and buy this stuff on my own? It wasn't the end of the world. I'm just telling you, it's like the benefits. Employers know that regular people are suckers for comfort and safety. 401k, you guys have no control of that money. You have no leverage over it. It's ridiculous. It's just sometimes right now it's turning into a 201k if you're following what's going on in the market and you don't feel empowered. It's all designed. Everything's designed. By the way, me and Zach could even, now I don't give financial advice. I utilize the 401k in all my companies. You have no idea. So you have a choice. I've learned you can pay Uncle Sam or you can pay yourself in the future. It's your choice. You have so many options. You can utilize the same, I guess it's laws and statutes that regular corporations, Coke, Coca-Cola, IBM, Xerox, all these people, you can use the exact same rules and benefit yourself and control everything. Because the reality is, if you're a W-2 employee and you just do that and you pay your full taxes, you are penalized the most because you don't reinvest back into the tax base, and your penalty is to pay a big tax bill. Why anybody celebrates getting a tax refund? It's your money. That's the most embarrassing thing to me. And honestly, I used to celebrate it. I used to high five my accountant. Now I'm more than willing to pay a tax bill. Why? Because I don't want to loan the government my money. And I'm just telling you, there's so many options. Don't sell your soul to work for someone else's dream just for $15,000 to $20,000 in benefits. Are you really going to give up for that amount? And add it up. You would be shocked. It's not as expensive as you think. And by the way, you can use a 401k. You can use a SEP. So if you took even a $50,000 payroll from your LLC, you could take a lot of that money back and set aside and not even pay taxes on it. So I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you, there's so many tools when you work, you have the system work for you, or you can work for the system and understand what they're going to give you at the end of the day.
Exactly. So I'm telling you guys, get going, get excited. And last one here, Dream Chase says, yeah, people call wholesaling equity stealing. Guys, if you don't know what real equity stealing is, it's a 6% to list a house.
So yeah, we could,
that's
with no skin in the game, nothing. And all they do is put it on a listing service, but like we're stealing equity. That's
6% equity to click a button and I'm buying a house. Okay. Yeah. It's just funny, but
especially on like homes that average $500,000-$600,000 throughout the country. I mean, that's a lot of money.
But don't even get me started on that. All right. So let's do some one-on-ones right now and let's talk about it. Before I do the one-on-ones, I do want to tell everyone we are doing a small live stream change next week. So we're going to be doing some crazy stuff next week. So we have a live stream change. So we are going to be going live next week on, I believe, let me think here.
Yeah, let me know the schedule.
Yeah. So our live streams are going to be Tuesday and Thursday next week. So we're only going live on Tuesday and Thursday next week. And then we'll have a recorded video on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I have it written down right there. So 5 videos still, right? So we're doing 5 videos, maybe 6 videos. I'm going to try to record an extra one this weekend. And yeah, that'd be pretty cool, right? So we're going to have live stream Tuesday and Thursday next week. You're going to go live on Monday.
Yes.
And then I'm going to be live on Sunday. So technically, if you follow all of our YouTube channels, the Zach Ginn YouTube channel, the Rick Ginn YouTube channel, and the Flip with Rick YouTube channel, there will be a live stream schedule. I'll just tell everyone the live stream schedule. Rick Ginn goes live on Mondays at 5 p.m.
Yes.
We go live on Flip with Rick on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. We go live on Thursday on Flip with Rick. Go live on Sunday on the Zach Ginn YouTube channel at 10 p.m. Eastern. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 lives, right? Did I get everything? Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. You get 4 live streams still next week. So I don't think you're missing much on there. Yes, Sunday night, always go live on my channel. So if you want to go hop on, talk to us one-on-one on 5 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 1 o'clock, and then your late night, you're on the West Coast, Sunday night. So guys, 4 live streams. I don't know if anyone can complain about that.
I know. We get the same amount of hours they do.
Yeah. So, and then we got recorded videos. So that'll be it. So it'll be pretty cool. And yeah. So let me know also, guys, we're also experimenting on the channel. Let me know if we do this a lot on the Wholesaling Houses for Real YouTube channel, where we'll have a live stream of like us for an hour. and we'll actually have an editor condense it to like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or condense a 30-minute live stream segment into like 15 minutes. Same value. Would you guys want us to post that on the main channel too, on the days we don't post a video? Because we can just post. I would pay an editor like $100 to edit the video to go do that. Let us know. We could do that. But yeah, that's it. So let's do the one-on-ones and let's talk about it. And yeah, let's get it going. If you want to hop on the one-on-ones, just go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. I'll show you guys how to get on there. We'll get in front of all the people we possibly can. All right. Where are we? There we go. Wholesaling Houses for Real. Click on the top here, featured. Click that. Boom. Click stream our link. You'll get on. Talk to us absolutely for free. So first one, we got Tristan.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. What's up, man? How can we help you out?
So I got a couple questions here. One I wanted to ask for you, Zach. So do you still use batch dialer, or is it the same for other dialers?
Yeah, I still use it.
Okay.
I like Mojo a lot too.
Right.
I've told everyone I like batch dialer. It's my favorite one, but you got to try all of them. I don't think one has a crazy big advantage over others.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't. I just want to ask for the campaigns. Do you usually, with one campaign, do you usually go through all the regular dials and then go to the redials, or you try to take each campaign's dials first and then hit the redials after? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I like to go through it once and then I'll just reattack it. Like,
okay.
What? So I kind of have a rolling system with type of lists and markets because I have multiple markets in my own market. And so, for example, I'll call all of Indian River County month 1. Month 2, I'll do St. Lucie County, and then Palm Beach month 3. And then I'll recall them again. They're big lists. So like this isn't like 1,000. Okay. Big VA list. So I switch it up by county. So if you're a high equity and you live in Vero Beach, Florida, you're going to get a call probably 4 times a year. No, 3 times a year, 3 times a year. But you're going to get a call month 1. You get a text from my company in month 2. You're going to get a reverse drive for dollars usually and a direct mail piece. So that's how we do it, but it's bigger volume.
Right. Cause I'm trying to, I have a system right now, but I'm trying to make it better because I'll have one list that's like 100 leads. I'll have one that's like 1,600. Would it be better just to combine them all into one campaign, hit all those dials first, and then just go through the redials? Because I do get with all the numbers batch gives you, I do get sellers on the redials. Like it's effective, and I don't want to just skip over them. So
try it.
Okay. Got it. I also wanted to ask your guys' honest opinion about virtual driving for dollars, because going full time, I have my market, but I have time for another virtual market, and I'm trying to, set it up there, and I'm just wondering if that's effective. I know I'm trying to connect with people there to do some driving dollars for me, but I wanted to know if doing more with virtual driving for dollars would be better too.
I mean, I can tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what you just asked me about the redials.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how I got really good at wholesaling and knowing what markets work well and what markets don't work well? I couldn't ask anyone. I just had to do it.
Right.
And so the thing was, I was kind of in no man's land when I started text blasting and cold calling, right? Because you didn't know what cold call lists worked and what didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I figured out pre-foreclosures sucked for cold calling, but was great for texting? No one answered the phone because they were getting spammed so much. But I texted them, they always answer the text. And so for the redials, you just got to try it out and see if it works or not. Same thing for virtual drawing for dollars. I'm talking to somebody in Tennessee. 2 deals last week from virtual drawing for dollars off dmzac.com. 2 deals. Worth it for him, right?
Yeah.
But I got other people telling me it sucks. So the thing is, I talked about nationwide lists today. The problem with virtual drawing for dollars, it's so market to market specific that you got to do some testing, man. Be a scientist. Figure out if it works or not. So I would say do it, see what happens.
All right. Yeah, because I'm trying to go 50-50 here, and I've got a good schedule to do all that. So, and the last thing I wanted to ask, I'm dealing with the property here, and it's really good. It's looking like it's low on repair costs, but I don't have a lot of good comps from I want to do it from the last 3 months at least. And I just kind of wanted to ask in where I can find on your guys' website, or if you can just tell me the equation for evaluating a house from cap rate. Because I found what most buyers like for the cap rate here I just want to have
What cap
put it
rate?
into play. It's
What's the
about
number?
7 to 8. I've talked to a couple,
That's
but
crazy low. That's low in my opinion.
We're talking
but
about single family homes, right?
yeah,
So you're looking at evaluating a property on a cap rate where you really just can't get good comps, correct?
yeah.
So is it just, is the house ugly, or is it just not fit the norm, or is it just like the sticks? What's the challenge with not getting comps there?
It's a nice house. It's like a 4-3, and they did some renovations, but they absolutely do not want to go through a realtor and want a cash offer.
Yeah.
So
So the problem is single family houses, it's hard to evaluate them on a cap rate, because cap
Okay.
rate's really designed as a net number for commercial deals. Like, so
yeah,
I honestly, I don't really look at cap rates unless you're really supposed to look at cap rates at like 4 units plus. And in my
Okay.
opinion, it's 6, because six is considered a commercial
you
property.
can do it for single family though.
You can, but what you need to do is change the word. Cap rate does not work in the single family. You want to start saying ROI, return on
Okay.
investment.
Yeah.
It's because these are regular people. So they go, okay, if I put in $100,000 and I get X amount of dollars net, then what's my return? And so just get rid of the word cap rate, because people freak out. It's the exact same thing, by the way. But so people play with you on commercial properties. They go, you know what the cap rate is? And if you go, well, what's a cap rate? They're instantly going to wipe you off your list, because if you don't know a cap rate, you're a long way away from buying the property. So as far as the number, it's what the market will dictate. If you have a nice, clean property and it's good to go. So most single family houses, people want close to 9 to 10%. I'm talking on average, every market specific. If you have a hot market, it can push down to the numbers. Like 6 would be the bottom line number,
Right.
because you got to understand, you can put your money almost in a T-bill around 4.5%, 5%. I just got an advertisement from Edward Jones. I don't work for him, not affiliated. They offered me a 6-month CD for 5.15%. So just understanding, I have no risk. I never got to deal with town. I got to do crap. So why would someone step on a property at 6 or 7% of a long-term commitment of an asset that's very expensive to sell? Because here's the problem with the cap rate analysis is, so if I have a CD, or say I buy a stock, not a stock, or say you buy a bond or something like that, which is a crazy thing right now. When I sell it, I click a button, it's over, and it's like a nominal fee. When you sell a piece of real estate, it can be up to 12%. So it's very misleading. So I go, hey, it rents for this. Here's the cost, and you can evaluate the numbers. Most cap rates, ROI on any type of real estate can all be manipulated. The biggest factor is any type of deferred maintenance. So I have people present, oh, I got a 15 cap rate. I'm like, yeah, but it's $300,000 to do the roof. It's $100,000 to pave the driveway. They all deferred it, and they artificially push it up. So just if someone's willing to invest their money, you got to look at what their alternative. If they can get a CD at 5%, they don't have to look or talk to anybody, and they click a button. 7%, in my opinion, is a hard sale for that. Now, if they like real estate, you got to understand the one advantage that you get over it is most investors, they want the depreciation part on it. So do you know what the depreciation rate is on a single family house versus a commercial? How many years you can depreciate it?
I do not know.
This is valuable. On a single family home, it's 27.5 years. Don't ask me how they come up with that number. That's the IRS.
Okay.
So if you bought a house for 200,000 divided by 27.5, that's basically, they can calculate the depreciation. Now you can push that number up to like double digits. Guys like me, I'll buy houses like that all day long because I get the depreciation factor, and they think it's a safe investment. Do commercial, it's 39 years, much, much bigger numbers though. So find out what your buyers, are they truly chasing ROI, or they want ROI and depreciation, and cater to the number to them and go, listen, based on the depreciation, if you buy it for 200 grand, here's how much more you get. And what happens when a guy like me buys 20 or 30 properties, we can offset income like by $300,000-$400,000 if you collect the depreciation. There's a cost to it. But listen, if you got a good asset and just you're struggling with the comp, I would go out further with the comp, 6 months, 9 months. And the comps to me are kind of more important, but I know we're in a little bit different of a market.
Just do a cash flow. We could debate over cap rate all day. Honestly, dude,
I love that stuff.
All you have to do is your cap rate's going to be different than what the cash buyer's cap rate's going to be. I promise you this, because they're going to assume appreciation in their thing and tax advantage, whatever stupid thing they do. So what I can tell you is just get it for the lowest price you can, and then
Yeah.
bring it to a buyer and say, hey, this should be under that cap rate. Just figure out what it'll run out for, and then just do a simple cap rate. I know you don't like cap rate, but just do a simple.
Call it an ROI, because that's what
Okay.
most people
That's
they're
fine.
not like way advanced on it. And then if you want to get more advanced, go listen. If you buy at this rate, this is how much depreciation extra you're going to get a year.
Yeah, and just do that, and then bring it to them and see what they do. They're going to do a different one. It's like figuring out repair costs for you and a cash buy. There's going to be different.
But
So,
remember, when they sell it, they're going to base it off comps, because that's the only way you can sell those. So there's cash flow of a property, and then there's comps. Unfortunately, single family will always be based on comps. It's just a rule written in, and it's hard to change, even if we wanted to. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was just another strategy I was looking at. Honestly, I just found a couple comps quick on batch, and I already know what number going for no, but I just want to know it. So, yeah, other than that, guys, that's all. And I like your shirt, Rick. So,
All right, yeah,
that's all I got. That's all I got.
all
I
right.
appreciate it. That's how we should run wholesaling. Just
Oh,
go Yellowstone style.
Take care of business, man.
all right.
Thanks, guys.
Tristan. Let me know if you got any questions.
Will do.
Perfect. All right. Next we got Jason.
And half will make it difficult, and the other half will just say absolutely not, or they'll give you some ridiculous bill. I once got a bill for, it was like $3,000 for a specialty list. I'm like, are you out of your mind? It took me another 2 months, but I eventually got it. I think it cost me $5 when it was all said and done. Do you know you technically have the ability to go into your county's office on the whoever manages the property appraiser stuff? I used to be able to get the entire county database 100% for free because it's publicly funded. Now it's just ridiculous with these privacy policies and all the BS we have to put up with. And that's why you have services with like listrei.com and like Batch, all this stuff, because it's just gotten so ridiculous how you can get these lists. And so what they'll do is, so the $85, they probably tell you, well, that's about 30, 40 minutes of our programmer, and that's the going rate for him to do it. Well, I promise you, they're not even paying that guy even close to that hourly rate. It's so ridiculous. I've got them all the way from $5,000 to free. It's just a big game they play, and it always comes back to the privacy policy, even though it's like public information. The only list that is guaranteed 100% free is the foreclosure list. That's the only one. Why? Because it has to be public, because that's the whole point of the purpose. And then as you work your way backwards from probates, tax delinquencies, all the way down to code violations, water shutoffs, fire damage, it's more challenging. So I would like to tell you there's one set way me and Zach can tell everyone how to do it. The reality is we're going to have to be more creative and more resourceful than ever before. Because remember, you're accessing resources. Anybody can do that. But for you to be successful, you have to do resourcefulness. And to be honest with you, sometimes you just can't get the list and you move on to the next one. We have this going on in our business right now. From the time I started this business with him bringing in, it's like night and day to me. There's still some basics that work, but stuff changes over the time. Like information's flowing so freely and fast that the information's getting taxed, meaning a lot of people are trying to access it. So they're trying to build filters. Keep in mind, if the one employee gives away, then they're going to have a long line out the door. And that's the challenge you're having to deal with. So in person always changes things. On the phone, it's tough. Email, I almost guarantee you an instant rejection, probably 95% of the time. So we encounter the same stuff you do. But
Jason,
just keep swinging.
If you're in Palm Beach, you shouldn't be looking at other markets. You're fine.
Your Palm Beach markets. Well, Boynton's part of Palm Beach, isn't it?
Yeah, like if you're in Palm Beach, don't be looking at other markets. Like stick where you're at, dude. There's
you have
plenty.
A huge market, dude. Huge.
So I was gonna say then, because I'm glad you guys are in this market. Should I go in person to the Broward's Broward County's?
Stick with Palm Beach, dude.
Dude, Broward's huge. Broward's gonna be twice as big as Palm Beach.
Just do Palm Beach, man. It's huge.
Yeah, and then it's just
Jupiter to Boca. Like you're fine, dude.
Yeah, and you're gonna find, and here's what you have when you get like a good sized county. Like, what's the population of Palm Beach? It's pretty big.
It's in the millions.
Yeah, I think it's like over 1 million.
Yeah,
dude.
So like you have a huge database. You got to understand, like the markets up further north of us, we have still relatively small ones, and we tap them pretty quick. So here's a little hint. We don't do all of Palm Beach. It's so dang big. We specialize in certain sectors that we've tested and we've had success. And where we find gold, we always stay there. And so the problem is you get down these huge counties, like say if you're doing Orange County or like Hillsborough County, I'm talking a lot of Florida stuff, but they're huge. And honestly, it's like you can get buried in leads, and you got to just like not drive yourself nuts, because I used to do all the way from like Southern Broward all the way up. Honestly, it's tough. So are you a one-man army?
I am a one-man army. But
yeah. So like, listen, don't run a one-man army that needs a 20-person staff to do it, because it's hard to do. The idea is you're trying to put deals on your belt and just learn and make money while you go on. So just be careful not to bite off more you can choose. Broward is an animal all by itself. And it's like, so remember, as you move counties, it's like entering into a different world. It feels like you go to a different country, especially in Florida. The further south you go, it is very different. And I will tell you, from the southern part of Palm Beach down, if you're not bilingual, you're going to miss out on about 50% of the market.
Just stay in Palm Beach. It's like 3 Port St. Lucies, and I got too many leads in Port St. Lucie for myself. So you're fine, man.
Okay. Okay.
Let me ask you, Jason. Let me ask you, did you poll the evictions list?
Yes, actually, I'm talking to someone right now that wants to sell me a property and he's actually evicting a tenant right now.
So but have you called the entire list?
No, from last month to this month I did.
Bro, it's every single month. The eviction list keeps rolling in.
Oh,
dude.
It rolls, buddy.
So you do that. You're going to be drowned in the amount of leads you can. You will be plenty full. Trust me. You'll be plenty full.
Would you guys recommend calling like an eviction record from like December or January, or no?
I like them fresh.
I like them fresh
because you get pissed off people, and that's where you find the best hired landlords. If you give them too much time, the property sells, they re-rent it. And so like part of you is the efficiency. Like, let me just gather the last 6 months of evictions. The sweet spot's the last 30 days, maybe 60, but like past 60, honestly, you're wasting your time and effort. I've already done the research for you. Okay. Part of the benefit of working with like people like me and Zach is, dude, we fought all these fights. We still fight them and the thing is, I want you guys to understand, we didn't stop fighting these fights. We still do it every day. And it's a constantly evolving market. That's why we like doing this live. We learn from other people outside of Florida doing exactly what we do. And we learn as much from you guys as you guys learn from us. That's just the truth.
Oh yeah.
So Broward's huge, dude. I would just focus on Palm Beach. And then because here's the deal, is you always get a market and then you find areas where you start getting some traction, like double down on those areas. Like, don't spread yourself too thin. I used to do Broward, and it's just like, it's a long ride for our salespeople to go there. We have to provide cars and gas, and it got terribly expensive for us. And we just
still do a little, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, but like we know the markets on like specialty lists, but all of Broward, oh my God, that's huge.
Oh yeah.
So,
okay. Thank you very much, guys. By the way, I'm still working with that lady. Dude,
I already told you what to do with that. So, but
all right. Thank you.
Okay, man. See you.
Go after it, man. Drive me crazy.
That lady's crazy.
Why do you crack the door open? Oh my goodness.
You know what? You ever try to shut a door gently and it's got the security lock?
Yeah.
Apparently I didn't.
And we have a private studio and it's pretty chill. I guess someone wanted directions, or they got and you cracked it and someone walked in.
I didn't know it. When I heard that voice, I go, oh my God, we're getting
I was more scared of the dog hurting the person than the actual person. Because this dog, I don't think you guys understand. Big boy. He very protective.
He likes to hang out, but
don't want a dog alone at home, so we bring him over here. But
I borderline broke my finger on that one. Look at that.
That's your fault. I spilled water.
I was trying to save a man's life at that point.
Hey.
You hear what I said to him? I go, you're about to be attacked. Get out the door. Hey, can you answer one question?
Whoever goes to a private studio, but whatever.
I was like, wow.
I'll tell you this. If you ever want to know if we're live, okay.
Yeah,
I think this is the perfect shit thing. The show that we are live, but we have a private studio, and I spilled water on here last week, and then you accidentally crack it.
I was trying to be quiet coming in, so I didn't alarm like anybody or get the dog round up, and then it just.
You saved that guy's life, because that dog would have gone nuts.
Yeah, boy,
he's very protective.
He went through a lot to get here. That's amazing.
He did. He did.
He had
to go through all. You know what?
through the gates.
Guys,
everything.
even if you wanted to find where our studio was, it would be very difficult because it is like, I'm not even getting started, but yeah.
that was funny.
All right, let's talk. Blake's been very patient. He looked a little bored halfway through, but he got through it. So
I did.
what's up,
So-
man? How can I help you out?
I have a few questions. One, with voicemail. So when you leave a voicemail, do you just say the same thing as when you're just calling someone?
That's
So,
it.
like-
It's a new voicemail for the person. So I don't care if it's the same one for me. It's new for them.
Right. I just
Intrigue,
wanted to make sure.
Curiosity, bro. Hey,
yeah.
this is Blake. I had a quick question about your property. Please give me a call back. Or hey, this is Blake. Give me a call back. Whatever one you
Intrigue
want.
and curiosity makes people call you back.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And then number 2, eviction list. Where do I go? Because I'm in Kent County in Michigan, and I look up like eviction lists. I'm in the Grand Rapids area, so I look up eviction list Grand Rapids or Kent County, and I see the district court, but it doesn't give me like any contact information or anything like that, from what I can tell.
Okay.
Like I can
in
view
Michigan?
a summons, but
Kent County has a landlord-tenant division.
And by the way, I'll let you in on a little secret on them because I'm familiar with these somewhat because I partnered up a lot of people in most counties in Michigan, they leave the landlord's phone number on the complaint. It saves
Do
you
they?
the entire skip trace. Most of them that I ran through that I helped somebody set up, I was like, oh my God, this is a gold mine. Because in Florida, we don't get that information. We have to skip trace everything.
All right, you ready for this one? Actually,
Yeah.
let me actually show you the website. Kent County. All right. Can you see my screen?
yeah, I can see it.
All right. So you see this website?
Yes, that's where I'm at right now.
Well, did you call this number right here?
Which one?
The phone number for the 63rd District Court?
It's not popping up for me.
Do you see it on the screen?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
Call them.
Okay, so so I didn't know if it was going to be the district court or if it was going to be like a specific person to call. But all right.
It's 63rd District Court.
Yep.
And just looking at through here, grounds for eviction, they got all this stuff right, non-payment, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. So a hearing may be scheduled ahead of time by calling this number. They got a lot of phone numbers. Look at all this phone numbers right here you can do. This is perfect. Yeah. You'll be
Okay.
fine, man.
All right, just making sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then a big issue I've come across just like in the past like week, I'm using Google Voice obviously for a different number. I keep getting drops. Like I'll call, like the call won't go through. Like it'll just immediately like drop and say retry. Or I'll call like partway through and it'll just drop. It doesn't drop if someone answers it really. But if I'm talking, so like, have you had that issue or do you do a different
Call rail?
thing? What was that?
For what service?
Google Voice.
I've never had that problem with Google Voice.
Really?
Get another Google Voice number, or
Okay.
maybe it's with your own phone. Try to switch it and test it out.
Okay.
I mean,
Google-
Millions of
Google's
people have Google
it's-
Voice. Yeah.
It's pretty solid, dude. Like
Yeah,
we've
'cause
never
I-
had issues with it.
I was looking up a little bit. I saw some people had issues, but I didn't see like as a massive issue. So I was like, is it just my problem or something like that? So,
I would say it's just you, man.
okay. All right. That's good to know, I
Right.
suppose.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish. But I mean, dude, I use Google Voice today. So,
Okay. Okay. All right. And then probably the last one, pre-foreclosure list. You said you get that every 30 days?
it's not pre-foreclosures can be anything, but usually every 30 days, most
Okay.
likely.
Is it
but
a paid list or no?
it's a free and a paid list. So you go to notice the defaults for the county or the list pendants. You can get it for free, or just click a button on a paid service. Technically free, but there's services you can just click it and get it.
And they post them random, like it just
Yeah, they
when
like
they feel like posting them, they'll put like 3 and then it'll wait, and then you'll see like 9 one day. So it's
Well, you got to remember, and pre-foreclosure doesn't pop up the day after they don't
Yeah.
pay it. It's like, okay, they didn't pay it, bring it to a lawyer. We got to file it and do all that. So it's like,
Right.
it's random throughout the month usually, but usually once a month, I'll go in and just do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
You said notice of defaults?
Notice of defaults and list pendants. I can tell, Blake, you didn't go to freelisting.com, bro.
I did. I looked at pre-foreclosure. I promise you.
The whole live. I did a 2-hour live stream and I condensed it into a pre-foreclosure section.
Okay.
Bro, you know what?
All right.
You got it. And check the comments. There's a lot of people telling you their experience with Google Voice, just to kind of reiterate what we said.
Okay. All right. I'll look into that. And then I guess okay. So I got that stuff. Last thing I just want to say then, with people who are scared of cold calling, two things. One, the people don't know you and they'll never see you again. So who cares?
Exactly.
Like, even if they see you in person, they don't know it's you. And number two is, I'm a big fan of Alex Ramosi, and he says this all the time. Don't do your best, do what's required. So even if your best is like sending out a text, that's not what's required to get the deal. You're going to have to call. You're going to have to do reverse driving for dollars. You have to do all that stuff. So don't do your best, do what's required.
It's not a 9-to-5 job, dude. Like, you're not paid by the hour. You're paid by the accomplishment. So I agree with your statement 100%.
I agree. Blake, do you see, this is freewholesaling.com. Do you see the little section of freewholesaling.com where it says, do you see this right here? It says 120 days notice of default is filed on public record.
Yeah. I seen that.
Notice of default. You got to look up the notice of default.
I didn't know that was like a specific thing to look up.
It was in the video. Yeah. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Okay.
See,
got it.
Okay.
guess what? You talked to the guy that made the course. So that's even better than watching the course. So you're good, man.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Keep it up.
That's it. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, man.
Should I start wearing muscle shirts and hats on my streams?
You're going to have to add some more muscles.
I know. Yeah, I got to work on it. I'm too tall. You know, that's what if I was like 5'6", I think I could wide out really well.
Yeah.
Stinks. Long arms suck. Whatever. It makes benching hard too. Got to deal with this. All right, we're going to do one more because we had our little incident with you cracking the door, but I got no place to talk with the water. So, Alexander, what is up?
Yo.
There we go. Oh, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good. 1 second. Sorry. I'm working my.
We talked
9 to 5
yesterday.
right
What's
now.
in?
Yeah, no. I really don't even need anything. I was just here listening, taking up game. I haven't had the chance to meet Rick yet. So what's up? I'm just working my 9 to 5.
How you doing?
Trying to, doing good. Just working my 9 to 5, trying to bust this workout. Ever since yesterday, 4.5 hours a day. That's what I did. That's what I'm gonna start doing. You said 25 hours a week. Let's get it. I've been putting in 2 or 3. It obviously ain't enough. So yeah.
Hey, he listens. He's listening to me.
He's listening, dude.
So
Yeah.
keep it up, bro.
You got it,
Yes,
man.
sir. That's
We're in your
it.
corner,
Thanks
man.
for
Keep it
everything.
up.
Appreciate it. And everybody who said that they're scared of calling, you can't be scared. Like, just pick up the phone. They're gonna hang up on you. They're gonna be like, lose my number. Don't take it personally. Just keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And by the time you really start slamming numbers, you're gonna be so excited by the time somebody just says hello. You're gonna be like, hey, you want to sell your house?
Exactly.
It's really not that hard, guys. Just don't let it go over your head. You're thinking too hard about it, and just keep grinding. And thanks, you guys. I really appreciate you, for real.
Just take
Keep it up.
Alexander's attitude with it, man. Because that's how you have to cold
I
call,
love it.
man.
Thanks, Alex.
See you.
I'm telling people I really do think people overcomplicate it. Then we got Matt, who's patient too.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Matt?
How can I help you out?
So I was the one that commented about the Citrus County Tax Collector's Office.
Okay.
They
You
told
weren't here.
I missed
that
it.
I need to get a tax cert or a tax ID for every county that I do business
In
in.
Florida.
It's ridiculous.
My LLC is out of Wyoming. I understand the foreign entity. I have to register as a foreign entity in Florida.
But what tax breaks do you get in Wyoming?
There's no corporate tax, and there's
There's
no personal
Bro,
tax.
you're an LLC, bro.
I
There's
know.
no corporate tax in Florida, man. For you, as an LLC.
There's
Yeah,
those that I want to approach with that, with the LLC being out of there.
Okay, it's something else, then it's fine. I'm just telling you, don't. I want everyone to know, like, there's no big tax breaks for you doing it by yourself as an LLC in Florida. Now, for me, C Corp, we'll talk about that later. But bro, you don't need to get a tax ID for every single county you're in. Of course, they want that. The government will like that too. But
they're just using it as a filter, so they don't have to hand it out to every person that requests it. So, and I'm gonna let you let you in a little secret. Sometimes they don't check out the tax ID number. Now, if someone's being a stickler and they want to verify your tax ID number and stuff, but I don't think a county employee would have information, because the only people that have your tax ID number is the IRS, maybe the state of Florida, and you. like, or whatever
Yeah.
state you're registered in. You can't, that's not like, they can't go to a database and double check your number. So count how many tax ID numbers and throw one out there. Like I don't want you to lie to people, but it's a ridiculous filter. It's stupid because what are they going to verify it against it? They would have to get permission from the IRS to verify that information,
Yeah.
which you're never going to consent to anyway. So
You're in Florida too. So it's not like they're going after a corporate tax for you because it's an LLC in the state of Florida, and Wyoming doesn't have any taxes either. So they're not going to go after you for tax.
it's a BS filter is what it is.
Now, if there was a city tax, I get it. But like, it's not New York City where there's a city tax. You're fine, man. Like,
what does that have to do with pulling a list? I'm telling you, it's just a
No,
BS
yeah.
filter to make you go away. So dude, pitch them up a number.
I just say, no, hey, my name's Matt. I'm a citizen. Boom.
Yeah,
Not a
it's-
corporation anymore.
I think it's like 9 or 10 digits anyways. It's not hard to figure it out. Just shoot it out. There's no way, because I just went through this with a bank. They can't even verify a tax ID number. So it's like, I promise you, a county employee is not going to be able to do it either. Stupid.
The EIN out of Wyoming, I have for my LLC. Registering as a foreign entity in the state of Florida, I understand that.
Yeah.
But the EIN should transfer as soon as I register.
EIN is for the government.
It's federal.
It's
It's federal.
federal.
It has nothing to do with state. So you have to register that federally, and then you pick the state that you want to register
Yeah.
your corporation.
If they
in.
need it to pull a list, just say you're a private citizen doing research. Then they can't give you that BS.
Gotcha. And as virtual wholesaling, would that be the same? If I was to do a job or a contract out of North Carolina, would I have to register my LLC to do business out of North Carolina?
No, it sounds like you need to, but you don't. I'm just being honest with you.
So Matt, we're not here to give you legal advice. So dude, I've done deals all over the country. I've never done it. Like, I'm not going to say I've never done it, but for the most part, every now and then someone's a stickler for the rules and they make you do it. So it's the exception, not the rule, but I'm not giving you legal advice.
Yeah, we're not giving, but you're going to close the title attorney in North Carolina. Whatever they say, do it.
That's it. That's the only one that dictates
Yeah.
it.
So I can't tell you what to do there. Whatever the closing attorney, we've had closings in North Carolina with LLCs in different states, and the closing attorney didn't care. We just got the check in the LLC. It's fine. Got my EIN, and that's pretty much it.
Sweet. I appreciate it.
Bro.
Yeah.
I think when I started wholesaling, I thought I'd do all this, but it's not as complicated. Do what the title company says and what the basically what the closing attorney says, and you'll be fine, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
Keep it up. Boom. All right, guys. I'm telling you, these are the top 7 nationwide lists you need to be using. I'm telling you. So this is it, guys. This is Zach Ginn signing out.
Rick Ginn signing out.
If you guys want to hop on, we're doing a live stream tomorrow. Well, you're going to be on live tomorrow, Friday, and then I'll be on Sunday, then Monday. And remember, guys, new live stream schedule.
Come out tomorrow.
We're going to go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays on the main channel, and then live. So full week, Monday on the Rick Ginn channel, 5 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday on all channels pretty much at 1 o'clock. No lives on Wednesdays. Thursday, live stream on all channels at 1 o'clock. Then live stream on Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern on the Zach Ginn YouTube channel. If you're not subbed to all of them, subscribe to all the YouTube channels, because I promise you, you will have 4 lives a week. You'll have, let's actually do the math. 3, 4, 5, 7 recorded video. If you subscribe to all of our channels, 7 recorded videos and 4 live streams. That's 11 videos a week. All right. So 11 videos a week. If you subscribe to all the channels, it's insane.
Yeah.
So, and they're all different videos. So
use it or lose it.
all right. Love it, guys.
See you
Make sure you
guys.
guys hit that like button, subscribe.
See you tomorrow.